Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Amber can't be joining us today, but she will be here next week as we talk about this week in Greater Phoenix real estate. So I'm just going to dive right into it. I'm Sarah Perkins with Lawyer's Title, but wanted to just give a little bit of update of things that were happening in the last week in real estate, because there's been a lot happening as always. So we know that, we're coming into the fourth quarter. We're thinking things are looking really good. I know a lot of economists and other real estate professionals have actually updated their projections for the end of the year and then next year, because real estate has been performing so well. I've got a great quote here from the Wall Street Journal, is that the U.S. economy and labor markets are recovering from the coronavirus related downturn more quickly than previously expected, economists said in a monthly survey. Business and academic economists polled by the Wall Street Journal expected gross domestic product to have a significant increase in the third quarter from what the expectation had been previously. So good news all around. We like seeing that the revisions are going upwards in the benefit of a stronger, healthier economy. A couple things on the real estate side nationally. Home sales in August, according to NAR, were up 10.5% year over year. It's the most sales that we've seen in August since 2006, and that's 102 straight months of annual gains. So we've got a lot of things happening. It's just so much activity. Another record from 2006 is we've crossed 1 million new construction homes have sold through August. So that's a really big deal that we've seen that many go, sell. And that's great because we're just so low on inventory. It's having that kind of impact. Is really good to have more inventory available. And, Dr. Lawrence Yun is talking about, a lot of people are talking about, we've got to have the new builds. We got to have all kinds of business or availability for the pipeline, because the buyer demand keeps on coming. The great interest rates are definitely enabling people to buy houses at the speed that they've never been able to before. There's conversations coming out that rates could go even lower. I mean, who knows? Some of the biggest impacts, though, that we do have to be mindful of and aware of is that there are some lumber shortages. Now, they're increased. The lumber cost has gone up 170% since April, which is just massive. That's adding $16,000 on average per new build, which of course that is going to be pushed onto the consumer. So that's just adding more, these price increases. Given the kind of really unexpected demand and things that have gone up, a lot of these major companies have really addressed and updated their rates on what they expect values to be. One of the biggest, Corelogic was the outlier, thinking we were going to lose 6.6% of value, but now they have revised those projections, saying that it's going to be 0.6% increase, which is a significant increase, especially when they were saying that it was going to dip as low as they were expecting. We've got a number of others. Zillow has revised their projections from negative 3% of appreciation to 3.6 positive appreciation. So I will post this so you guys can see the full chart. But there's a lot of people who are saying, hey, wait a minute. These prices are really increasing very quickly. I don't see a way that we'll have any sustained decrease in value, because the prices have just been going up and up and up and not anywhere but up. Some of the things that has happened, if we want to talk about the local Arizona market, we actually have had a little bit of an increase in our listing, in our inventory. We've had an 11% increase, and you almost wouldn't notice it, because our active listings excluding UCB has really been hanging around 8,000 to 8,400. You wouldn't know that we had that 11% increase, because it was just gobbled up so quickly. So as soon as it was hit the market, came right back off the market. It's moving fast. The demand continues to increase. Our new builds continue to increase. We have more homes in escrow than, pending sales are up year over year 23%. Our demand is 25% above normal, and it continues to increase. And this time of year, when we look at cycles, I know this is not a year for typical cycles, but this is the time of year when inventory starts going up and demand starts going down. And even when there's an election year, that does have a small impact on how or when houses are purchased. Typically, we do see a slight decrease in the month of November as people kind of just want to see what happens, but those buyers end up buying in January. So it's not that it's lost, it's just delayed slightly, but it's only a small percentage of the buyers that typically buy in November anyhow. We're still finding, and I think, of course, given the demand that we have, we may see, as listings hit the market, that demand is probably not going to wane, and people are going to buy those houses when they become available, whether they become available on election day or not. That's simply, our demand just continues to grow, so we just got to keep watching that, particularly everything that's going in California, and between the fires and their potential tax changes and everything, that there's just a lot of impact, and a lot of people are really being driven to want to come to places like Arizona because our market is very healthy, but it's also far more affordable than California. We're looking at a couple things going on the commercial side. A kind of an interesting startup, and they started up during the pandemic, is a company that is actually available to connect gig workers with landlords to work on evictions. Not really sure about the legality of it, but this is something we'll probably see some more new startups popping up to kind of correspond with evictions, despite we've had the CDC eviction moratorium through the end of the year. So we're just going to be watching to see what's going on. Really, the biggest news from last week was the announcement that Zillow made last Wednesday about how they are now having their licensed realtors, who are salaried employees of Zillow's, they are going to be handling the acquisition and sales of the iBuyer built products. So what that means is they're not going to be working with the general, kind of consumer. They're going to be working on behalf of Zillow in their purchase or their sale of the properties that Zillow is buying. This is going to take effect in January of 2021. It's starting in 3 markets: Phoenix, Atlanta, and Tucson. So we'll be watching that, see what happens. The other markets that Zillow is in will follow. The Zillow offers is the segment within Zillow that does the iBuying, but the brokerage is called Zillow Homes. They're currently in about 25 markets across the country. Combined with, when you think about, Zillow has its own mortgage company, Zillow has its own title company, they can truly now, with having everything in-house, offer that end-to-end transaction. It's been a conversation a lot of companies have had. That kind of really represents, it can be, the customer can work with them and it does the whole transaction. That's going to be interesting, and how it plays out and how it affects the rest of our industry. Zillow maintains that they are not interested in representing traditional buyers and sellers. What they're really, focused again on their iBuyer purchases. Zillow currently purchases about 2% of all of the seller inquiries. I know some are saying this could be Zillow's soft launch into traditional real estate. That remains to be seen, maybe, maybe not. Typically when they do make these announcements, that's what we see for the time being. If things change, well, then things change, I guess. What I think is really the biggest deal, though, is now that Zillow Homes is going to have their licensed agents, they're going to be members of the local MLS, and they're going to be NAR members. And what that does is it really impacts how they gather their data. Currently, they have about 10,000 agreements with different brokerages and different MLS associations to get their data feed. Now it's going to come through a direct IDX feed, and essentially it will make it so much more manageable, going from those 10,000 agreements to maybe say 600 data agreements to manage. And I mean, this is why I think it's going to be such a game changer. Not only does it reduce the costs It will also improve their accuracy of the data that they have available for their consumers and for the web traffic that they have. It's also going to increase their timeliness. It's going to be more accurate. It's going to give them better data, and that will allow them for far more detailed data aggregation. And that's really where I look at, you know, the data, the ability for the data aggregation. That's humongous. It's just huge. They will be able to have the accuracy of Redfin, but they have 200 million unique visitors every month. And so, you know, that's going to be, you know, it's a big change for them. And you got to think about web traffic, and effective data aggregation is really what built those data giants, or the big giants of Amazon, Facebook, Google, you know, those guys. It's only going to change a little bit. The appearance of listings will change a little bit on Zillow because they will be subject to the MLS regulations. Buyer's agents information will still be shown. It'll just be separate from where that listing agent's information is. Premier agents may have some back-end changes, consumer-faced advertising changes, but lead flow is not expected to change. I know Zillow and Trulia are no longer going to have their featured listing options. Something too that's pretty powerful is Deutsche Bank is one of the world's leading financial services providers. They just again upgraded Zillow's stock price. This time it was Open Doors' big announcement that they went, you know, going public. And now they're kind of looking, well, Open Doors gonna, you know, they've got this massive valuation, 4.8 billion. Zillow's got a 20 billion, you know, market cap. So what they're really seeing is, you know, as the Open Doors is going to get more attention. It's also going to drive more attention to Open Doors competitors, and their biggest competitor is Zillow Offers. And you know, that quote is a rising tide lifts all boats. So it's essentially going to get more attention for everybody in that iBuyer space. They're also saying that Zillow is moving more from an advertising, you know, media platform to a, you know, real estate platform. So maybe that's how they're changing the way that their valuation is being, you know, being looked at. So it's something that, you know, we'll be watching what happens as Zillow makes this transition in the early in the year in 2021. I know there's a lot of different mixed emotions and feelings on it. I'm just going to watch those numbers. A couple other things that are going on. Redfin did a study and said, once again, this in August, no, it was in August and September, they actually saw more people looking to transfer out of their metro area when they're doing more of their users doing their searches. There are 3 top target places where they're going to. Sacramento, California was number 1, Austin, Texas number 2, and Phoenix, Arizona was number 3. But we're seeing most of the people from looking at Phoenix are coming from LA County, Southern California, very typical. I mean, anybody in Arizona is pretty, you know, that's not surprising at all. A couple things on the mortgage front. Mortgage applications last week actually increased 6.8% week over week. A lot of it definitely was refinances. We saw some of those, you know, the numbers went lower again, which is just crazy because it's already so low, but hey, it's driving a lot of activity in this industry or in real estate. We also know that about 680,000 homeowners who are late on their mortgage have not asked about forbearance. And so I think there could be some conversation where people don't really realize that that they have forbearance options. It doesn't necessarily mean that they have to pay it all back. Some people are afraid, some, you know, pull back at one time. There are a lot of different programs out there. I'm going to post a website on there that was put together by a number of the, you know, kind of joint effort by a number of the big time, you know, housing agencies for the country about ways that people can protect their payments, whether it's a mortgage or if they're behind on rent, things like that. What do people have, you know, what are their options? So I'll be sure to share that. Good news is though, is the number of loans that are in forbearance continues to drop. We're at 15 weeks, continued drop in that, and we're down to about 6.93% of all mortgages are in forbearance, which is roughly 3.5 million loans. We're gonna just touch on unemployment. How do I say this properly? Like, unemployment continues to improve at a slower rate. So we are seeing, you know, the continuation of the, Continuing unemployment claims continues to drop. Initial unemployment is now, we've had a couple weeks where they've come in under 1 million. Yes, 1 million is a giant number, but we're happy when that number shrinks. So we're just going to keep watching that and keep having as our unemployment continues to drop. One of the cool things for us here in Phoenix is we continue to be the strongest employment market or employment center in the country. We have lost the fewest jobs. We have a lot of jobs coming in. We have a lot of businesses coming here. So there's a lot of positive information or positive things happening within the unemployment arena. Kind of final thoughts on it is we've got a lot of big money, big, corporate money coming in, but there's also a lot of things happening that isn't just based on, big business and corporate work, influencing real estate. We know that there's a lot of things happening. It continues to improve and, shows strong signs of continuing a healthy real estate market. So if you have more questions or want to talk about a specific location within your real estate market, I'd love to talk to you more. And I just appreciate you spending 15 minutes with us talking about real estate. Next time. See you later. Bye-bye.